نلعل 10 عامات زغلغلتلو مويا بزح واغا استخفللو مويا ون كمز سانت ناي حق بعلت مويا يا نيرا كمز سانت بعلا تزاريبا نيرا فت مدرخ نعنا بفلاي نعنا دما ياو نتغارو نعنا ابغنو وصعن ابغني فتح زسانه سبن طاو زبل سب فلوي كبر لنا مستزبصحنا بدل مستصقماتنا كله تححيزنا كنريو خلنا نخمز عينت سب زهلونا خبري ازيو عزوزي زخون سلازي لو ما انت دما ناي بعلنا قالنا حفتنا ميلات كيروس ابقرما كونغرس ومن كوينا كند محبرسب كتقالس تودادر زلا ميلات كيروس ابزي اب واشنطن دي سي ترخيبالا سلازي قدمنا ابز مدرخ ممصا بشم محبرسب واشنطن دي سي كبابيان ميلات حفتنا انكو دحان مصاخيلنا كلنا كاب زلنايو بدغيلنا بعللتان بتقعيتن بمورالن نقبللا خشغركم Welcome to the MV Melat Kirks. Welcome. كبرتي هابلنا عرف بلو. عبودنا هلنا تمدرخ باريخوم كجمرولنا أبا بتو أبونا ليك أباباس أبا أتناتيوس نابزي أنا مدرخ كشجرو ممو باريخوم يجمرولنا تا مدرخ.
كهنا مدرخ الحروسي وكم كالي أجولن نسأل التسوي زبل مالته يوم قلنا نسأل نلعب بس معه وولد ومنفس قدوس أهادو أملاك بقدست سلاسين ذا أمن وتمحصن كهدك سيطان بقدم ذاتي أمي قدست بيت كريستيان انتي إيتي سمئي بأريام سيون لعالم عالم آمين نعقتك أجزيون سيبهاك نواركك أجزيون تأمنك نغني لك أجزيون تكني لسمك قدوس نسجد لك أو ذلك يسجد كل برك ولا كي تكني كل لسان أنت وأتو أملاك أمالك وأجزي أجأس ونكسنجس أملاك أنت لكل ذسجا ولكل ذنس ونسيوا كان هنا بك مهارنا قدوس ولك إنزعي والأنت مسس وتسألي كما زولوا كل فترة كات جزء نشراوت كتا قدوس إجزاء نعنا دقها بهوة بتعنان هون حقوسن حلقة نفذي سناي زخان نجار صبوا نجار نقولوا صبوا نجار أرعيا إنه هنلو بعتق علي سلاجرنا ده ننحد حدنا كان مخاخرن كله بفلاي دما قالنا ميلات التي جميرات زلا صبقون نهزي أقلقلت زتكمن زرح سرح كله كان مخاخر حاجز تكون كونا دمس تكون كونا عيداو كون كونا أندبت كون كونا أو زي تأكلنا لنا مو تأكل كنا نسخة خامو أخوينا حدنتنا كله بارخلنا قالنا ميلات وين صرح كله حصواته كله نايلب حصا كله فصم الله قوينا وين بارخلنا ولدا وين بارخلنا كمون مع خبري لكم أو زي كل خاتكم تترخوكم أبوتات أديتات أحواتحات እግዚአብሔር ይባርክኩም እግዚአብሔር ይخوركم أقولنكم زقوم يسأنكم እግዚአብሔር ሀገርና ወን ሰላም ይግበረልና ዘለና ይዓዱ ዚውን በሰላም ይሐልወልና አሁን ዘበ ሰማያት አፍ ሰማይ ተነብሮ ቦና ስምካ ይቀደስ መንግስትኻ ትምጻ ፈቃድካ አፍ ሰማይ ከም ዝኾነ ከም ድማ ምድሪ ይኹን ናይ ኢለት ምግናሎ ማህበና ንሕና ንዝወደሉና በደለን ከም ንሓድገሎ በደልና ሓደገልና كاكو فؤاد حنا نبرنا فتنا يتأتونا من قصة حايلين كورنات كايمون زي العالم وأجزئت يا مريم من يقدس جبريل ملاك سلامتا سلام لك اللخو بحساب كده إنجليخي بس قهون إنجليخي نجزي غير صوت أدي سلامتا نحقي جبا كاب أنا استبرختن السقيخي نايم حسن كفرون بروح جوس أجاز تملاقي في الساعة تفسي إجزي غير مساخ يوم كافو أرود دقيق ويتنا مدحينا إيجوس كرسوس محرت لما لنا حاتي إحنا من تكسر لنا زي العالم آمين مسجانا يكون أذن والدن منفس كدسن لو من كل ساعة نزل عالم عالم آمين تقمتوا እሞብዚ አንተ ለኹ ጸሎታ ገበርኩ ዝመጻና ሁሉ ውን ያው መሳኻትኩም ውን ምምኽኻር ስለ ጓልና ስለ ሓፍትና ሜላት እዩሞ ስለ ዘኹርዓትና እዚ ነገር እዚ ቅዱስ ነገር እዩ ንህዝብ ዝጠቅም ንወገን ዝጠቅም ንሃገር ዝጠቅም ስለ ዝኾነ ስለዚ ኣብዚ ከምዚ ዝመሰለ ስራሕ ድማ ኩልና ክንተሓጋገዝን ክንደጋገፍን ይግባእ እዩ ማለት እዩ ታፍቲ ዝሕጎሰና ሓደ ኣብ መጽሓፍ ቅዱስ ታሪክ ናይ ኣናንያ ኣዛርያ ሚሳኤል ዳንኤል ትፈልጥዎም ዶ ኣብ መጽሓፍ ቅዱስ ዘለው እስራኤላውያን እዮም ግን ብሽግር ምክንያት ናብ ባቢሎን ከይዶም ኣብ ባቢሎን ከይዶም ድማ ብጣዕሚ ብልህታት ነይሮም ኣብቲ ንጉስ እውን ናይ መኳንንቲ ናይ ዓበይቲ ደቂ ዓበይቲ ስለ ዝነበሩ ተማሪሖም እዮም ከይዶም ግን እቲ ንጉስ ካብኣቶም ጥበብ ከም ዝርከብ ካብኣቶም ፍትሒ ከም ዝርከብ ፈሊጡ ታፍቲ ዝበልዖ እናብልዐ ታብ ዝሰትዮ እናስተየ ኣብ ፍሉይ ትምህርቲ ናይ ፍልስፍናን ናይ ሳይነስን ናይ ምሕደራን ናይ ኩሉ ዝኾነ ኣሎ ዝበሃል ትምህርቲ እትይዎም ንሳቶም ግና እስራኤላውያን ከም ምዃኖም መጠን ስደተኛታትን ምርኮኛታትን ከም ምዃኖም መጠን ስለ ሃገሮም ስለ ዝገደም ኣይ ንሕና እቲ ንጉስ ዝበልዖ ኣይንበልዕን ቤተ መንግስቲ ብልዒ ያው ትፈልጥዎ ኢኹም ንፆም ዘይምቹ ማለት እዩ ንሕና ሃገርና ብሽግር ስለ ዘላ እናጾምና እናጸለና ኢና ንፈጣሪና ክንልሙና ኢሎም ዓተር ቆሎን እንደግድግ እንዲ ዝበሃል ይበልዑ ነይሮም ሓላፍሽ የምሎም ከይሓምቁ ሰውነቶም ከይጉዳእ ጽቡቕ ዝኾነ መብልዕ ንኣእምሮ ጽቡቕ ኣይኮነን ኣእምሮ ይዕብን እሞ መግብዎም ጽሩይ ዝተጻረየ ምግቢ ኣእምሮ ዘዳብር ምግቢ ኢሉ ኣዚዙ ታኡ ብልዑ ከገድዶም እንተሎ ኣይ ግዜ ሃበና ሓደ ወርሒ ኮነ ሃበና እሞ እንተ ሓሚቕና ትንስኻ ትበና ምግቢ ንበልዕ ጽቡቕ እንተኮይኑ ሰውነትና ድማ ተዘይ ሓሚቕ ተጸቢቑ ድማ ብኡ ንቕጽል ኢሎም ግዜ ሂብዎም ታፍቶም ስጋ ዝበልዑን ጣዓመ ዝደመቐ ዝበልዑ ንሳቶም በሊፆም ተረኸቡ እቲ ዝገርም ነገር በትምህርታቶም ድማ ታብ ኣጠቃላይ ኣብ ባቢሎን ዝነበሩ ምሁራት በሊፆም ተረኸቡ መንእስያት እዮም ነይሮ ከምዛ ጓልና ካብኡ ድሓረት ንጉስ ኣምፂኡ እንኳንስ ኣጠቃላይ ኩሉ ነገር ዘይተነግሮም እንኳስ ዝፈልጡ ዝነበሩ እዮም ናይ እግዚአብሔር ጥበብ ተወሲኽዎ ታው በአጠቃላይ ናይ ባቢሎን ወረዳታትን አውራጃታትን ኣመሓደርቲ ኮይኖም ተሸይሞም ማለት እዩ ስደት በተመሳሳሊ መንገዲ ንሕና እውን ካብ ሃገርና ወፂና ደቀና ውዚ መፅዮም ናብዚ ኸምዚ ዝመሰለና ምሕደራ ክወቅዑን ከለው እዚ ዓብይ ነገር እዩ ሞ ናብዚ ዘብፅሕ እግዚአብሔር ይኽበር ይመስገን ሰለስተ ማህረት እዩ ክትወዳደር ተለኻ ብዙሕ ውድድር ኣሎ ብዙሕ እንታይ ዝበሃል ስለ ዘሎ ነዚ ሓሊፋ ያው ዝበፅሐናهم ኳዕደ ሰበለክ እግዚአብሔር ምሳኺ ይኹን ንብል ሞ ናይዚኣቶም ናይዞም ናይ ዳንኤልን ጥበብ ምሳኺ ክኸውን ኣምላክ ምሳኺ ክኸውን እዩሞ እግዚአብሔር ይባረክ ኩልና እንታይ ዳስ ዓብይ ዕድል ንዓና ብፍላይ ከም ተሓፍትና ዘለቶ ንተጋሩ ዝሕለፍናዮ መከራ ንሕልፎ ዘለና መከራ ቀሊል ነገር ኣይኮነን ሰብ ክልዋ እንተሎ ተኣዩ ዝበሃል ሰብ ደየለን ይዘለ ኣወ ስለዚ ሰብ ምህላው ጽቡቕ እዩ ኣብ ጎኑ ምዃን እና ኩሉቲ ዝካየዶ ብምንታይ ከም ዝኾነ ንፈልጠና ሞ ከንሕገዛ ይግበአና ክብል ይደሊ ኣጻብዕት እንተ ሓብራ እስክመልስዎ ኣጻብዕት እንተ ሓብራ ኣወ ኣጻብዕት እንተ ሓብራ ኣጻብዕት እንተ ሓብራ ገብርጓ እሺም ባርስ እዩ መዚኣ እንዲያው መፈክር ያ እንዲያው ያኽበረለይ
يغنيلنا أبونا يغنيلنا بتوع أبونا The power of the people is stronger than the people in the power. ناتي يخونا نزي ميلات بتدقاقامي أبتو قبرو قوسات حيزاتو تزور زنبرت زرقه سلوغانيو حيل هزبي كاب حيل سلطان ويدما كاب حيل بعل سلطان يبلص كم مالتيو ميلات زاغي داب استفلالي استيتات كم زعينة تمساسال مدرخات أكايدا إيا إزي مدرخ تكايدلو زلا مخنيات دما كلاتكم تفلطوا إخم محبرسب تكور صقامات نمفتح أب كونغرس آتيا كند محبرسب كتقالس إيا توادادر زلا إزي تعبي عمام كوينو نعانا دما أنا لو ما أنت نعانا بزبل نعانا بزلو وفلوي ترجمية كريوز دل كل نجار مبزحتنا ونا بستأكبنا سبات نسون رد إذا مثلني نعانا دما بفلوي أفتح مع جزء كلنا نفلت أنيرنا هنا هذا أبال كونغرس سب نمركاب كندينا أتأجام خمسنا برا أتأجاماتنا خنا رد دمسنا خنا سمع نحدا كونغرس أبال رخيب كان مزرراب بزوح محل خطات سالا دكنا سالا جاغانو حواتنا تقاليسوم بزوح نحجز نيرنا هنا بعبيو حزينا يبعلنا سب ناب كم زعينة بوتا مبصحو تحد عبي عواتيو اتخال أيدما ميلات مثلي أتسرح لنا زلا مثلنا أيا تغيرو زلا مثل دكنا أيا تغيرو زلا صباح دكنا أبز عدي زنبرو دكنا عابيوم تماهيروم تنكيروم انت سريحهم بناي بعلخا بناي قربا سب كتريو خلخا زبط صح مخانون مؤمان قللي يزخون سلازي صباح دكنا ون زبوتا زي قبئنا أيو كنبصحو نخئلينا إلوم نخحسبو يا ميدا تتاتحلنا زلا سلازي ازي نعانا تدراراب نجر سلازخونه ازي نابشتون مبصح دما اتان قبرا ناي جنزب حاجز اتهازنا أسد حاجز ياتخون زلا سلازي ازي بقمة اتيخم صباحنا نسرحلو صباحنا مثلنا نعريلو عبي ترجم زلوا وتاريخه وجداي مخانو آمينكم كلهم لما عنتي أنا دحر زازر بازي أتمليس زمت قرش خوات صرت رحيه جبكم حسس ناولكم كاب دنفر نعنا خبيرة نعنا تأمامينا أيام زمت يا كم تبتدقاقا مستبهالة قال سامس بمحبرسب تأمامينا سلزخونة كابانا أي كله دقف كترخبو زلوا سلزي آخرعنا إنا نملسا زي نحسبكم تصنحو if Melat wins we all win Melat انت سعيران احنا خلت سلسة شعينا نسعر مالتيو سلزي بأمارينيا بحالا ملسالو حزقنا بعلي ميلات كيروس نقعد حان متأخذ بمبال محبرسب واشنطن دي سي كبابي آن بموكال أبومبر كوميونيتي تجراي أيتا أمارة لوكاس قاعد حن متأخيلهم بخبر قبلوا لنا نابز مدرخ بخبري عدم بخبر سني لي I hope Melat Dade is telling you that what I'm trying to say. Thank you. أيتا أمارة لوكاس نام مدرخ بخبر سني لي تايد أخي متسو دخيمكم.
عندوري لكم بحكي يتعملكم كمزي تأخاخبنا كابزي تطول كاختري خلها بتعمي يتعملنا بزغوانا سلزلا تتقرينيا قد فوئي أوزي تقرينيا زي الزارو تقدم منعسي اللونا بعلاون حزبك سمعيات تقرينيا لو مني ميلات حبتنا كالوتكا أمحارينيا الزارو أحواتنا لو سلزي نشتي بإنجليزي يخفتني ملك تخلف فؤادكم يخون يغني اللي Good afternoon. Is that evening? Sorry. First, I like to thank the organizing team for a job well done. I also want to thank them for giving me the opportunity to say a few words. I am humbled, and I thank you. I don't know where and how to begin, but let me say this. This is a very historic and remarkable day. Given the ugly, the sad, the painful, the agonizing news that we have been hearing for the last 6 years or so, there is nothing more hopeful, more exciting and aspiring than today's event. Because one of our own, one of our daughters is running for Congress. Think about it. Melat's running for Congress in and of itself encourages the youth, our children, to follow her footsteps. Melat, wherever you are, please, may you stand up for a moment, if you don't mind. Stay there, yeah, okay. Thank you. My dear, thank you for opening the gates of hope. And thank you for showing our children that the American dream is still alive. Now, I don't know what other plans Melat may have or may not have, but to me, this is only phase 1. You got phase 2, phase 3 to come. Melat, you only began the journey. There is phase 2, phase 3, and a long journey that you should and must go through. It's not going to be easy. There will be setbacks. There will be ups and downs. In fact, it will be a treacherous one, yet achievable. All you need is an absolute focus, hard work, patience, listening to your constituents, and paying attention, courage, determination, and above all, the I can do it self-confidence, and I know we got it all. So, what is this phase 2, phase 3 long journey that I'm talking about? Do you want the answer? Well, before I answer that, let me say this. I don't know about you, but today I am very excited and thrilled because I see a shining light right at the end of the tunnel. And so do I see our daughter, Melat, being sworn into the 120th Congress and taking her seat as one of the 435 members of the House of Representatives come January 2027. Yes, yes, yes. Now back to the question, and I will answer it if you're ready for the answer. Are you? Are you? The answer is very simple. The end of her journey will be right across the river at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C. Yes, 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 yes. Melat, you already opened the door. Your destiny is right in front of you. Just walk the walk and grab it. That's it. Finally, I know today your parents, family members, your close friends are very, very proud of you. And they should. But trust me, Melat, we all are proud of you, and we will be standing with you all the way. My dear, wishing you the best of luck. Thank you all. Did he tell me to? That's it. Thank you. Thank you.
ሕዚ ከምቲ ዝበልኩኹም ዘረባ እኹል ሰሚዕና ኢና ዝኣኽለና ሰሚዕና ኢና ብዛዕባ ሜላት ድሓረ ክትመፀና እያ ሕዚ እቲ ዋና ዘራኸበና ዕማም ክንገብር እቲ ፈንድሬይዚንግ ክጅመር እዩ ነዚ ዝተዳለኹም ሰባት እዚ ክትፈጽሙ ዝተዳለኹም ሰባት እውን ናብዚ ክትመፁ ግን እቲ ኢንስትራክሽን ከመይ ምዃኑ መኣዚ ባዕላ ንእሽተይ ብሪፍ ትግበረና እሞ ሬዲ ኮነትን ናብዚ መድረኽ ክትመፅእ ግን ድሓን
Thank you for being here. As everyone has said, we're gathered here to support our sister, who's a pioneer, whom I'm proud to have as a sister, but also as a member of the larger community, the Ethiopian community too. So we're grateful. There are so many people who are here to show support, and we're truly grateful that you all have made the time. And we're officially going to start the main work that we're all gathered here, which is support financially. And there are different ways that you can do so. So Axum is going to list some of the instructions. But then once that's done, please do come to that table. We also have volunteers who are going to walk around and who will show you the instructions. And we'll start doing that. አንዳንድ ትግርኛ በደንብ መስማት የማይችሉ ወንድሞቻችን እዚህ ተገኝተው ስለሆነ ለዛ ነው በእንግሊዝኛ እያወራን ያለነው ስለመጣችሁ በጣም እናመሰግናለን ያው ዛሬ የተገናኘ ነው ሜላትን ለመደገፍ ነው በብርድ ፋይናንሻሊ ስለዚህ እንዴት ዶኔት እንደሚደረግ እህታችን አክሱም ኤክስፕሌን ታደርጋለች እሷ ከጨረሰች በኋላ ደግሞ እዛ ጋር ቴብል አለ ሶ እዛ ጋር እየመጣችሁ ዶኔሽኑን መስጠት ትችላላችሁ ማለት ነው in the meantime you can mingle around ከሜላት ጋር ማውራትም later on we're going to hear from her socialize with her in the meantime but the main work is the donation table.
There's 3 ways that you can donate. One is here. You'll scan a QR code and you can pay online. Check should be made out to Kiros for Congress, but again, we can help. There is a legal limit. You can only pay one. And for credit card and for checks, the $7,000. But if you are, if you have any questions, please feel free to come to our table and finalize your donation, and so we can get Melat Kirks into.
دحارة تمليسة خمسية አይዟችሁ በርታ ያላችሁ ኪሳችሁን ሓንቲ መተሓሳሰቢት ኣለትኒ ኣጋይ ግን ሕዚ ስእሊ ምስኣል ኣይፍቀድን ዶኔት ንምግባር ካልኣይ ቴብል ኣብዚ ካልኣይ ፊት ንፊት ዘሎ ሳይድ መፂኹም እውን ዶኔት ክትገብሩ ትኽእሉ ኢኹም ፎቶግራፍ ሜላት somebody has to say this in English.
Hi, everyone. We have plenty of time for pictures and everything else.
Datrahina. Thank you. Melat Kirks nam madrach. Thank you for coming.
Hello. Thank you all so much for being here, for supporting. I want to say something because a lot of people have told me since I started this campaign that I have been inspiring to the youth and being a good example and a good role model, but I want to make it clear that the only reason I'm doing this is because I'm following your lead. I'm following our community's lead, the example you set for us. When we came here in 1998, when I was a baby, I was 11 months old when my dad got selected on the Diversity Visa Lottery program. And I always think about the program that we got selected in because it was chance, right? It was lottery. There's no explanation beyond just luck and God's hand why we came here and why I grew up in this country. And to watch how our community has built all of this love, this family, the support, it is what molded me into who I am today. I remember even in Denver, when I was in elementary school, I'd come home and we would see groceries on the doorstep because some auntie or uncle just wanted to help us out for the week. When it was the weekends and my parents had to work, because they worked 2-3 jobs to help put my dad through pharmacy school, the other aunties would take turns watching all of the kids so everybody could go and work and earn their money so they could achieve the American dream. And they did. They both achieved the American dream. My dad graduated, my mom started owning a business, they sent me and my little sister to college, they achieved the American dream. But today, if you are a young person, I'm 28, the economy does not look like what it did back then, what you were able to build if you just worked hard. And so you have so many people my age who are working so hard. They went to college, they did the thing, they got the job, and yet we cannot create the kind of American dream our parents were able to in this country. And instead of complaining and writing online about why everything's broken, we have to step up and do something. And so I decided to run for Congress. And I'm doing it because I have your support. I cannot do this without all of you. And more than anything, you know, the thing that really got me to begin running for Congress was I was an attorney. I was working in New York City, and there were students that were protesting what was happening in Palestine. And I remember thinking, I was always raised to speak up when something is wrong, when there are human rights abuses happening. Always. Never, never, never back down. Speak truth to power, always. And just to be sure, before I wrote an article to say as much, and I posted it online, I called my dad and my mom to make sure because I knew I was going to upset a lot of people. But I wanted to run it by them because they did all of this work to achieve the American dream, sent me to college and to law school, and here I was going to speak truth to power knowing I might get in trouble. And my mom and my dad, they both said, you have to speak the truth. You have to hold people accountable. And you have to support the people that are protesting for human rights. So I wrote the article. That morning, the morning I posted it, they asked me to take it down. I said, no, I can't do that because it's true. They have a right to protest. This is what is becoming a genocide now, and you have to acknowledge that. They said, okay, you're fired. And that was hard. I wanted to be a lawyer for 10 years, since I was in middle school. My dad, he gave me two choices, doctor or lawyer, and I decided I would do the lawyer. And I worked all the way to do this, and it just went away. But I knew that it was important because it was bigger than me, because there were human lives on the line, and more than that, our taxpayer dollars were supporting it. And one of the reasons why that happens is because there's not enough people in Congress who actually understand what war means, who understand what happens when there is a blockade preventing aid from coming through. They don't understand what happens when little girls are oftentimes the most victimized when it's war. And if there were more people in Congress who understood that, maybe we would stop the wars before they happened. That's what is at stake right now. And when we are seeing what's happening in Iran, when we are seeing our leaders not speaking up enough about this while innocent people are being killed, that's on us. We have to speak up. That is our responsibility as Americans, especially when it's our taxpayer dollars that are leading this front. So I am who I am because of this community. And so when you tell me that I am leading the way for the kids, I'm simply following in your footsteps. And so I just want to thank everybody for your support. It means the world to me. No matter what happens with this, this is the first step in so many others who are going to step up and run for office. Whether it's Congress, whether it's your city council, whether it's in your state legislature. And if you're a young person who's interested in running, call me. I'll let you know how to do it because it's complicated. It's hard. And it's supposed to be hard because that's what democracy should look like. But unless enough of us get into those offices to open the door for everybody else, that's how we're going to get there. So thank you all so much. It means the world to me to have your support. And I'm so grateful that I can announce, at least right now in this moment, that we've already raised over $13,000 online. That is amazing. And I wanna help kind of put into context what the fundraising is for, right? One, it's all public. There are very specific rules about how to do this. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I think it's important that the people who are donating to me are the ones that I'm holding myself accountable to. And there are a lot of people in Congress right now, the money that they take, it's from very, very, very wealthy people, billionaires, corporations, people who don't actually care about working people or immigrants. And in light of everything going on, we need people who are actually accountable to everyday working people in office. I'm the only candidate corporate money. I'm not taking billionaire money. I'm not taking lobbyist money. It's just everyday individual donors. that come from my community, because I know that it is a bad. If you have any questions over here, please feel free. Sorry? Okay, I'll be standing. Love to chat with you. And I'll have my cards with me to share my, because I can't do this without you guys. So thank you.
Go Melat, go Melat, go Melat, go Melat, go.
سلام دحندو يبهر دي سي بطري يመስለኒ ካብዚ ልጅ ሰልሕ ቁጥርና ካልኣይ ኮሚትመንት ኣብዚ ዘሎ ኮሚትመንት ኣያ ትፈልጥዎ ኢኹም ኩሉ ነገር ህዝብና ዘይረስዐ ስለዚ ከብስሩ عنتون كونتكست أميتات ميلات حفلة ليس لذدلي أبنة ياتخونهم صح صباح خيرهم تم قالوا تمالو من جوه بيت هرستان نيرنا أبزو حرة تسويشتي نحنا ون ناوزي سوينا نايم ماتنا يونو لو يكونه أنت ميلات إسرا ميلاتاتين عندلي سلاسة أب كونغرس تراي يكونن بايزوي سيتي كونسلز أب كنتيبا أب كله عانت بارتيسيبيشن كلنا ودما نخلنا نحن دما نفلتينا غيرنا ون سلازخنا بزوز لوز ليغال سيستم بتزوز غبا اوشتينا اتنا منغدي اصاريغا ميلات منغدي دقنا هم يم غير ገንዘብ ክባሃል ተለሱ ዝርድኦ ሰብ ዘሎ ዝገንዘብ نشتي بزو كامبين بتعمل نشتي تنحنحت so far I think she has raised about 800 yes شو ما تمي تشهرز غيرها كابي أمسياتو عبيت بنشتي ن شال بيزو قفي حزقنا بقرب والاتون بعشرة شح سبب زلوا حمش تزواج تعيه سبب بتعم ترجم له سلازين نحفر راح زون استخالة متن زي واس أنا أنت لنا أنا واسف حدا مقبر السيو إذا أنت أتينا لا ترى ما أساس إذا أنت حوسنا لا ناتنا إنايلنا إذا أنت حوسنا لا لازم حدران مالتي مسئلة
من تاي مبزحتي وأبز زول سب درجة جزام زول سب ناسددكم مسكدكم ون شهنا قابز حليو خمزاني عنتو ناخدكم ناتسأخم حتى تا قداي نشتي دفق خنا بلاينا نشتي كتسلك thank you أتصلوتا بزقات أمزي أبزنا إنا كن مرحو إلنا نيرنا كن بزح سبكا وعدي بدرخ بمفلات نعيون تحجزني بفلاي بحدا نمرح نيرنا إنا علم سلام مزيات حويساتنا لا مدرخ مرح بريول لاي غازيتانيا أفتي رأيين الله إيو بزحات حواتنا سمويا مزيوم اللونا بزا عديس خنو بزقات آمين قعد حمد أهم لكم كتقبلوا ومثل زل خيه thank you
even greater price simply for being who they were. Tigrayans were fired from government positions. Tigrayan doctors were removed from hospitals. Engineers, professors, teachers, people who had served their country for decades were purged overnight. Businesses were seized. Bank accounts were frozen. Our people were rounded up and detained all over Ethiopia for no reason other than their ethnicity. Ethiopia careers built over a lifetime were erased. not because of anything they did, but because of who they were. And here in the diaspora, we carried both burdens, vilified in the country we came from and dismissed in the country we helped build. Melat Kirks has lived that space in her life, and where she saw the pattern repeating in Gaza, where civilians were massacred, entire communities displaced, and a world debating whether to call it what it is, a genocide. She recognized it because she is Tigrayan, because our community doesn't have the luxury of looking away from genocide. She wrote publicly criticizing the legal profession for punishing those who dared to advocate for Palestinian life, the same way Tigrayans were punished simply for being Tigrayan. And one of the most powerful law firms in the country fired her for that. Her story is our story. The only difference is Melat turned her circumstance into a campaign for Congress to make a difference. And I want us to pause on that. Melat is 28 years old. She's not waiting for permission. She's not waiting for someone to retire and hand her a seat. She saw a broken system and she stepped up at an age where most people are told to wait their turn. Our community and this country needs that. We have watched a generation of leaders hold on to power for decades while the world changed around them. Housing has become unaffordable, healthcare has become inaccessible, and genocide happened on live stream. And the people in charge couldn't even bring themselves to name it what it is, a genocide. The way of doing politics has failed us, and if we keep waiting for change to come from people who created these problems, we will be waiting forever. Young people stepping into leadership is not a risk, it is a necessity. And when a young person from our community has the courage to do it, after everything that has been done to silence us, it is our responsibility to lift her up. Her opponent has had the seat for 30 years, taking millions from corporate PACs, including money tied to the very interests that work to silence voices like ours. Meanwhile, Denver has become the 5th least affordable city in the country. Our families are being priced out of the neighborhoods we contribute to and live in, and Melat is funded by the people. Small dollar donations, an average of $47 each. And for just today, she defeated the 15-term incumbent to nearly 2-1 in the Denver delegate vote, 63% to 35%. I think Denver is ready for new leadership, but momentum alone does not win elections. I fund the organizers, the outreach, the infrastructure to carry this across the finish line in June. When we Ethiopia, every Tigrayan who lost their jobs were detained for their identity. And we proved that in this community, complicated to other doesn't just belong in American politics. And give for every one of us who was told we don't belong here, and let's.
Thank you, Mahalet. Thank you. ማለት እዩ ቶም ያንገር ጀነሬሽን እዚኦም ዝደልዩ ዘሎ ካልእ ሰብ ካሰብ ብቀረባ ሰብ ከም ናትካ ዓይነት ቻሌንጅ ዘለዎ ብዛ ዓዲ ብክትገብሮ ዓብይ ሞራል ስለ ዝኾነካ እዩ for this. Thank you. ካብዚ ንድሓር ዶኔሽን ዘይምውዳእና ንምርግጋፅ ስለ ዘይከኣል እቲ ዶኔሽን ፕሮግራም እንተሃልዩ ካብ ገረሎ ይመስለኒ ነዚ መድረክ ዝዓጾ ወዳእያ ንምንታይ ኢሎም ማዓንትታ ብቐንዱ ተራኸብናላ ምኽንያት ንሳ ስለ ዝኾነት ሜላት ማሕበረሰብ ተዘኮር ፀገማት ባዕላ ሕድሕድ ነገራት እናገለፀት ነይራ እያ ካብ ማሕበረሰብ እያ ትደገፍ ትረኽቦ ኮነ ከም ድርብ ሓላፍነት እቲ ጥቕምታት እውን ድርብ ነትና እውን ካብኡ ንላዕሊ እዩ ስለዚ ትንገብሮ ዶ let's keep on giving.
For Melat to financially support her. So if you have given, give more. If you haven't given yet, please give. That's the most important. you live here, you want your rights to be protected, you want to be represented, not only to be who we are as immigrants who have this opportunity to build a life. Everything that we dream of, everything that we aspire to be, it's like Melat. And for Melat to be there and to do the work she needs, the work that needs to be money. Imagine she's running against someone who has been in power for over 30 years. 30, it's just not. Have that. We are her backbone. We have to be there for her. I know many other like Melat, our rights as immigrants here in will be protected. We can actually have a chance to leave the American money. So please continue to keep. So how Khazila? To give more, we still have our tables over there. You can give is 7,000 if you need to give to make it happen. So so anyone she didn't hear that. It's just me. So let's continue to give. Social media, follow Melat Kirks on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook. Zema here who can help us. Hopefully, we have so many other people. Ashenda, she's very famous. She's one. Yeah, who actually use social media. The effort as a volunteer, she's already agreeing to do that. Thank you so much. I know there are so many people who were not able to come here today, so our phone list. It is our job to develop the work and continue to do that. So let's continue. Minutes. Yes.
So honored. I don't know. I don't have enough word outside USA to my family members. Yet, to donate, and they are. I'm sure they can. No.
So you have to be at least and on top of that, even if you are a citizen and a green card holder, but you are not donating from even the internet, it can see where you're donating from. Yeah. Check. You can mail a check. We have a PO box. It's on the letter.
Actually, as we continue to donate, if people have any questions that they would like to ask Melat, she's more than happy to accommodate as long to donate. Yeah, you can take questions. I also want us to do our job. Let's continue to donate.
Come on. Okay, I see one over there. Sanders, he is, one of the little bit of audacity that I have to do that, right? Politician is 84 years old. And if I could get him to run best. The reason why I love Bernie Sanders, who is does. It is just luck that I grew up the way that I was able to grow up. We have globally, not just in the United States, but globally, determines your dignity and your worth by where you're, all of which you have no choice over. And yet it will determine whether all of these things that I believe should be basic human rights that are Because to me, government is meant to be communicated by the people that are your peers. And in the community that I grew up in, that my parents helped, nutritional food, public education, transportation, all of it should be accessible to everyone. Right? Where's the money? How are you going to pay for it? When it's about war, they always have the money. Instead, on our basic needs, I promise you war would decrease. We know how to achieve universal health care. We know how to get free. And we're behind because the people that are in Congress, like the congresswoman in Denver, have been there for 30 years. So many people that are representing those corporations, the billionaires who already have so much wealth. This is the wealthiest, most powerful country to provide the most basic things. Citizen, immigrants, I don't care. It's about human rights. Any other questions? Okay, بتقرينيا first. Let's try. Why do they even donate all of that money? Question like that, you have to start from the very beginning. Why are they spending all of this money in the? It's because the people who are already in Congress, she's not a bad person. I have a lot of respect for her. 30 years and she only passed 2 bills. That's it. And I could stay there for 30 years, but the rest of us, we have to work. You say, I want to pass this, I want to do this, I want to do that. Again, you can't do it in just 2 years most of the time. It takes time. Okay, how do you get reelected? You raise the most battle of ideas or policies and what your voters want. They just outraised their opponents. So what is it that that money does? It gets you name recognition. Pay for mail. We're going to pay for all of the literature. We're going to pay my name, what I'm fighting for, and that they have a choice. When you don't to do the research, right? They're busy working. There's just too much going on in the world for them to sit down and look at every single name, how they spend that money. That's why they donate that money in the first place. When I don't have all of that money to begin with, right? Well, first, the fundraising is still very important. And because all they're doing is pooling all. It's harder, right? Because we need way more people to participate because we're not going to match this. How we match it. So, the last quarter, 250 individual donors. We have over 3,800 individual donors. Beats organized money every time. Because that's why they spend it, right? They're spending all of the money because they know that if we dealing with, we talked about how expensive it is to own a home and how expensive it is to send your kids. How we got the Civil Rights Act, how we got Social Security laws, 3,000 centimillionaires in this country, people that are worth over $100 million. Us afraid of each other. How many times making you scared of your neighbor. That's making you afraid of what they are taking, distract us and make us think that we are the ones that have to. That's the plan that they the whole time. And the only way that changes, we put people in Congress that are not taking their money. Big pharmaceutical companies, from big energy and oil companies, from defense. They profit off of making our energy prices so expensive. They profit off much money most of the people in the Democratic Party are even taking it from, and protecting our rights. And so in order for them to run, and we have to challenge all of them and make sure that the people in Congress are not taking money from those people. I don't know if I'm allowed to answer anymore. Hey, what's your question? Asking me, how did I get the audacity? So when Trump won in 24, I remembered thinking, okay, this was kind of expected to run, and to run a good campaign. President Biden did not let her. That happened during his administration. It made it really hard for her to stand and voted us. Is that a lot of Democrats stayed home to be a working person in this country. They're talking about the stock market, how great everything is, and meanwhile, 67% of Americans are Democrats. We're not gonna learn the right challenge Trump when he was in office. We're seeing what's happening. ICE is terrorizing people to be regulating these companies that are poisoning our water, poisoning our air, all of these things, and Democrats are pretending like they are. They're saying all of these strongly worded statements, challenge all of the Democrats who did not put up the fight to run. I said, okay, who's in the city council right now? Who's in the state house? Who's in the state senate? Somebody who has experience. People who are 28 years old with no name recognition and not typically the ones that are successful. And so I asked around, and nobody returned, and then all run the way that they're supposed to. Everything is on fire. Our democracy, our economy, our inequality that we are seeing. And as a young person, I'm 28, and be able to raise a family and to live in my community with of what's really at stake here. I sincerely believe we have a very small window of about 6 years. So this year, I fundamentally believe that. And then we're gonna, what happens if we take back power and we don't do anything with it? Here, to pass laws that make if we don't, Trump will probably be gone by a lot. There's gonna be somebody else who is just as charismatic, just and who will have the machine that created Trump behind him. Me, when I saw nobody else was gonna run, felt like I had no choice. Somebody has to go and try and speak on behalf of. I have nothing to lose. I already lost my job because I spoke truth to power then. I think I'm the smartest person to go and do this job. It's dignity, and that their government should be protecting that. And to share that message, that's on us. We have to step And it's because of that audacity, we were able to beat years. And not just by a small margin. But that is what audacity does. That we know is right for our country. You know, God willing, everything works the way. But even if it doesn't all go to plan, I'd rather. Great question. I have a couple questions. Is that okay? Yeah? Okay. Go. Time is not, you know, I'm just going day by day. This, where we are having these fundraisers, reaching out, hosting house parties themselves to invite their friends, their family, their colleagues to come and meet me and to also donate as well. We have raised, I believe, close to 300, much more, because what happened yesterday, and I'm still processing it myself, and it's a test to the fact that the people of Denver are ready. When we are already talking to journalists in Denver, once people hear about what's happening, they're gonna donate. We mentioned earlier the social media, that's gonna be huge. A chance that we can win. And there's a very good chance people are going to want to support and donate to make that happen. So, thank you.
تحلف إلى الله نمتقاللي إذا نادينا لات ناب كونغرس تقبرو زلا وددر كم تقراواي راح يكون عبي مورال سلازي فترلنا أبكال عد زلو سب كما ليلن ينحاتي تنيرن سلازي زي ما أنا بوتا زلو تقراواي يخون إثيوبياوي إلو ترجمو إزارينا سلازي بزقات أمزي تادي سيمانا أبز سلازلو هي وانا سيفيو إنكري تقراي ناي عدنا دمسي حاقوسون بزق
سلازتراو كي مصينا وزنبر حاس كونتينو ينورغن هار نيكست ويك ملسي زنا ماخل نا ميلا زين نا دي سي مصيا ناي فاندرايزنج بروجرام كم تقبر سايو ليلنا وسينا ماتي نمنتاي خم زولكو كن نغركم تقراي حاسبت له حزي ابتعم بزح وسبسب نغنا انا وحوس سلامن بحقنا ما بحقن سرعة تنأسى أو أفريقيا رول موديل من سرزي نسخة أتمت حدنا تجاري اندحر تجارو كلهم نحساب لعلنا وسيدنا نحق لعلنا وسيدنا اندحر تقالسنا يوم حدا عقمنا وسيد سولنا احنا حل ما ينخل بازي جلوبالي بتعم كومبيتنت من أكبر تجراويتي مفتار مات ينوات مين WHO تحسب الله تدرس تحسب ماتي سو تجرا سبب مزعزع 3 مليون عمس جورة سلام سو ميلات ويدما ሜላት ናው ያዲ በላ ባይዞይ probably ሜላት access አለው ማለት ምናልባት ሜላት ስለ ሃውሲንግ ስለ ግዛት አውዚ ማለት አዛን አሜሪካ ትግራይ ተጋሩ I'm 100% sure ሜላት ንሐግዛ ፋይናንስ ንሐግዝ ከምዚ ንግበር ሜላት ምሕጋዝ በዓል ሜላት ምሕጋዝ aspiration ናይ ደቅና ምሕጋዝ እዩ ኣብ ፀገምና ኣተልና እንታይ ከም ንመስል ንርኢናኮ ሜላት ተሓዘላትና ፕሮጀክት ንሳ አሜሪካ ትነብሩ ተጋሩ ጫፍ ጫፍ ትግራይ ትሕግዝዋ ተኾንኩም this is your time ክንሕግዝ ኣለና and thank you Melat for inspiring the young generation يقنع
thank you ታደሰ የማነ ናይ መወዳእታ መንእሰይ ናብ ዝኽዕድመልኩም እየ መድረኽ ክንዓፅዎ ኢና ኩልኩም ትፈልጥዋ ዜማ ኢንቪኔራ ሕዚ እውን ኣምባሳደር ኣሸንዳ ትግራይ እያ ኩሉ ክሕግዝ እየ ዝብል መልእኽቲ ክትሕልፍ ስለ ዝደሊ ዌልካም
Thank you Sabla. Salam kamillukum. I want to thank God for first thank you for inviting to be here. Melat, this is a statement. This is confidence. This is if Melat can do this, I can do this. If Melat can do this, my sisters, my brothers can do this. So just by hearing her speak for a couple of minutes, this is my first time seeing you, meeting you, hearing about you. What I'd like to say is, about phase 1, this is your first time here, okay? I believe that you should come back here. Let's do this again. Let's invite more people. Let's spread the news. Let me, Melat, we are by your side. We love
ሕዚ ናብታ ናይ መወዳእታ መጠቃለሊ ነበርቲ ዋሽንግተን ዲሲን ከባቢኣን